Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome in. My name is Emily. I'm the artist behind Emmy Teddy Designs, and today I'm painting my friend's cat, as well as answering your business questions. So if you have a question, leave it in the comments or follow me on Instagram so you don't miss out on our next Q&A over there. So first, let me explain what's happening here. I made a digital sketch of my friend's cat. His name is Miso. And then I got some watercolor paper that is 300 GSM. Now, I don't know anything about paper. This pack was actually a gift from the same friend for my birthday 2 years ago. And since I primarily use digital art, I wasn't sure what to do with this paper. But I also didn't want to throw it out or donate it, so I held on to it, and I'm so glad that I did. Using my paper guillotine, I cut the paper so it starts at 9 inches by 12 inches, and then I cropped it down to 8.5 by 11 inches. So that's standard printer paper size. Then I run the paper through my printer so that I can have my sketch printed onto it. If you watched my last painting video, then you know that I recently wanted to learn how to paint. And I mostly wanted to focus on the painting process, like how to set up, clean up, and mix colors. So I printed my digital sketch onto my paper as a means to speed up my workflow and take some of the pressure off from needing to sketch, erase, and potentially mess up my paper before I even start the painting. So, if you're like me and you want to paint, but you feel paralyzed by some of the pressure, then I strongly recommend printing your digital sketch if you can, or painting on top of a magazine picture, or even some coloring pages that you might already have in your house. So, before I start answering your business questions, I want to share that I've got my coloring pages available of this work and others available on my website. So you can actually download this design of miso. You can download it, print it, paint right over the lines that I already traced for you so that you can focus on the fun part, which is painting. I actually traced my painting digitally using Clip Studio Paint, which I love using for turning my traditional artwork into printable coloring pages. If you're curious about the program, I'll leave my affiliate link in the description below so you could check it out and support the channel. Clip Studio Paint also offers a free trial, and they often have 50% off sales. So for instance, it's $50, but on sale it's 25. So I just thought I'd mention that. Now, let's get into today's video. I hosted a Q&A over on my Instagram stories, and one follower asked me, "How do you get customers for your art?" This is a pretty open question, so if you guys have any answers, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I would love to hear what works for you. As we know, some advice might work for some people and it might not work for others. So I just want to mention that I'm giving advice that has worked for me. I would love to hear your wisdom as well. So I have a lot to say about this topic, and in this video, I'm not just sharing generic tips like go sell at a market. Instead, I'm going to break down 10 business strategies that actually worked for me and the ones that didn't. So, to start, let me introduce you to my Redbubble era. If you're not familiar with Redbubble, I'll quickly explain. Redbubble is a print to order website where you upload your art files. Then Redbubble slaps your art onto like 50 products, give or take, because they add new products all the time. And when a customer makes a purchase, Redbubble fulfills the order for you. The pros are that for a small artist with no following, I was able to make art and sell it using Redbubble's help. But the cons are the lack of branding. Since Redbubble fulfills the order, all of the shipping materials say Redbubble. So customers will tend to say, I got this from Redbubble, instead of addressing each artist that they bought from the Redbubble marketplace. This also happens with other print to order websites and marketplaces like Amazon and Etsy. So when I first started selling on Redbubble in 2017, I was selling maybe one sticker a month on Redbubble. Those customers would go on Redbubble, search for things like animals or video games, and somewhere in their recommended search, they would see one of my designs, add it to their cart, and disappear. Customers didn't follow me on Redbubble, which told me that they weren't interested in knowing when my store got updates. Meanwhile, I had followers on Instagram who enjoyed getting updates, but I wasn't posting enough good content to reward them for sticking around. So now that you know what a print to order service is, you can probably piece together that it was a short term solution that dragged out too long. From 2017 to about 2020, I had made Redbubble my only source of income. My biggest regret was posting my art to Redbubble and then expecting that to somehow blow up, pay my bills, and build my community. My advice to myself would be to spend 3 years not only practicing my art, but recording my practice and posting that online to get recommended to others like me. That's how you build community, by finding people who share your values and interests. So, before you sell anything, build your community. For me, I thought it was a good idea to start selling at local farmers markets. These are considered variety shows as they attract a variety of customers. Their ages and interests are completely random, and this random variable can negatively impact your sales, which is what happened to me. I started vending around 2022, but I actually regret that decision. Like, I regret focusing on print order websites. I regret variety markets because I spent about $2,000 on my booth display, inventory, market rent, and gas. Overall, it was a great learning experience as I got to meet locals in my community, get advice from other business owners, and practice my customer service skills. But financially, I regret vending as I rarely made a profit. Instead, I recommend selling at niche markets. That's any market with a specific theme as they attract a specific audience, which is your ideal customer. I used to view other artists as my competition, so I enjoyed being the only artist at a variety show. But I've come to learn that that was a very much immature way of thinking. In reality, artists are actually stronger when we sell together because then we attract a crowd of art buyers. For example, as an artist, I should be selling at art markets and artist alleys. And because I sell pet portraits and pet bandanas, I should also be selling at places like pet expos, adoption fairs, and pet cafes. If you're not an artist, or if you don't sell pet items, then these markets would be considered the wrong fit for you. So take time to reflect. What is the theme or vibe of your business? What services do you offer? Describe your ideal customer. If you're feeling overwhelmed, let me give you an example. If you're a photographer and you want to advertise your services, I would recommend vending at potential wedding venues. For example, Vineyards will occasionally host a market, so I would look into wedding venues near you that also host markets. And if you're a photographer who likes to work with kids or families, I would also look into schools that are hosting markets. Personally, I've seen middle schools that host fall festivals annually, so vending at an event like that could potentially get you booked for graduation photos and family portraits, especially with Christmas around the corner. My last suggestion would be to advertise at family markets that have a character photo op. Families might not buy a picture that day, but they might. And I still think you would find your ideal customers there because it's families who prioritize photo op events. So they would be considered a stronger lead. So, to recap this section of the video, if you want to find customers, you first need to describe your ideal customer. What are their ages and interests? What events do they like to go to? Where can you find them? Once you can describe your ideal customer, then you need to go out and infiltrate their communities. So, food trucks would go to Foodie Fridays or other food festivals. Artists can go to art fairs, photographers can go to vineyards or school events. But remember how I said that financially I regretted selling at markets? What can an artist do to find customers without spending so much money? Well, here's how I advertise on a budget. Instead of paying money to sell at a market, I just go to the market as a guest, and while I'm there, I prioritize networking. I will say that one thing I learned from my time vending is that many businesses fizzle out. So, if you're serious about running your business long term, you need to go to those events and look for other artists with a great setup. So, whatever booth grabs your attention, that's the booth you want to be at. Go over, introduce yourself, ask if they could tell you a bit about their business, and ask for a business card. That artist might become your next mentor or friend. You never really know, so be curious and be friendly during your visit and thank them for their time. If you're more on the shy side, you should still go over to the booth. Ask yourself what parts of their display grabbed your attention and impressed you, because then you might want to implement some of those details when you update your logo, business card, or booth display. Some other things that I look for when I'm a guest at an art market include looking for artists who share my art style, my color palette, my values, and my products. You want to look for artists who are similar to you because it's possible that they already have a community and customers who like those colors and products. For example, I went to an art market, introduced myself to an artist with a beautiful booth display, and then we followed each other on Instagram. After that step, I will usually ask to take a picture of myself holding one of their products, or I'll take a picture of a cute part of their display, or I'll take a picture of something that I bought from them. Whatever picture that I take, I go and post it on my Instagram story, and I make sure to tag the artist in the picture. That way, the artist can reshare the picture on their Instagram story. So, there are three major benefits happening here. One, when I post the picture to my Instagram story, I'm introducing my followers to this artist. And when that artist reshares the picture on their Instagram story, they'll be introducing me to their followers. Now, Instagram stories are very important because think about who watches those. Personally, I only watch the Instagram story for artists that I trust and who I can't get enough of, and that's because I don't want to miss out on their wisdom, their lifestyle, their pets, and their personal recommendations. So, again, when I post to my Instagram story, I'm introducing the artist to my most loyal and active followers, and they're introducing me to their most loyal and active followers. That's free advertising to potential customers for the both of us. Benefit number two, my followers get to see how I spend my time outside of the office. Like, yes, I make art, but I also travel and go to local events. And that leads me into benefit number three, where I'm sharing my core values with my followers. I love being an artist and I love supporting my community, and that means shining a light on other artists too. There's room for everyone's art styles, and I learned that from my dad. My dad was a carpet cleaner and he networked with other cleaners so that when he was fully booked, he could still recommend a cleaner. A lot of inexperienced business owners think that everyone in their field is competition, but thanks to my dad, I know that other people in the field can be a great help, great mentors, and great friends. But I really want to emphasize that when you go to an art market as a guest and you're looking to network, don't be fake about your curiosity. Sometimes there's a booth that impresses me, but for one reason or another, I don't think our values would match, so I don't approach them. When you network, make sure that your compliments are genuine. I know section two, the power of building community first, was super long, but I hope you learned a lot about how to find customers in person. So now let's get into section 3 out of 10. Section 3 is all about networking online with fan art. Once upon a time in 2017 or so, I drew some fan art for my favorite novel titled All the Bright Places. I made this art before the newer anniversary covers for the book came out and before the movie on Netflix was made. So I think the fan base was smaller at this time. And I remember the artist was pretty active with sharing community fan art. So I made this fan art for something that I loved and posted it to my Instagram. Well, the author, Jennifer Niven, saw it and reposted it. That one post brought me followers, sales, and a best selling sticker that is still popular to this day. I remember getting DMs from people asking if they could get my art as a print or a tattoo. And again, it's because the book didn't have the amount of visuals that it has now. So if you make fan art, make it meaningful and original. I strongly recommend that if you make fan art, make it based on a novel. Some authors, like Jennifer Niven, are really great at community building. So when she shared my fan art, she was introducing me to her super kind community, and I got a significant boost in customer sales from that. Now, I know that this section of the video was called Networking Online with Fan Art, but I want to wrap up this section by sharing how you can network online without needing to make any fan art. Personally, my main method for networking online is to follow other artists and engage with their content. That means leaving a nice comment or resharing their latest post. That way, members of their community will see you in the comments and they might decide to check out your profile. Another way to network online is if you order some items from your favorite artist and record an unboxing video and then tag them in it. If you decide to do this, be intentional with your unboxing videos because, again, you're introducing this artist to your followers. So only do unboxing for artists who you trust and love the quality of. I only do this out of convenience. I don't want you guys feeling like you have to start buying stuff, especially since no one owes you a follow or a reshare. So, this isn't even a guaranteed method for online networking, but it's still something to consider if you happen to order some art and you want to post some content about it. Okay, this is section 4. Make your account binge worthy. So Another regret that I have is doing this all backwards. I tried building community first and making content later, so I had this spike in followers from in person networking, but my social media was boring. At the time, I only posted pictures of my finished digital art. Now I post art tutorials, work in progress photos, and weekly photo dumps to keep things engaging and personable. By posting more diverse content, I'm solidifying my values and better explaining what Emmy Teddy Designs is all about. So, my advice is that before you even go looking for a community, start thinking about what you're going to give them in return. If I follow you on Instagram, what type of content should I expect to see from you? Can I get a demonstration of your work? Will I see tutorials or tips and tricks? Does your business support a cause or post funny videos? Different followers want different content, and you can't please them all. So, prioritize 1 to 3 types of content that you can continuously and consistently offer. That way, when new people view your profile, they have enough content to binge so they can get a feel for your brand and decide if they want to follow you. So, start planning what type of content would be best to show off your business. What kind of pictures and videos should you be posting? Who is going to be the face of your business? For example, let's say you're a photographer and you want to advertise your services. Followers would probably want to see a video of you setting up a photo shoot and then showing off the final pictures at the end. I'd recommend a photo dump where you post pictures of your equipment and then in the caption you could list or even tag the brands that you use. Some people don't like sharing their equipment out of fear that their followers will take this information and become a competitor. But in my experience, sharing my equipment actually adds value to my work. For instance, when I share my list of equipment, I make sure to include the prices, and my followers will usually find that it's cheaper to buy from me than it is to buy or rent the equipment and do it themselves. Uh, Having lists like this where I share all of my equipment has also led to things like my Clip Studio Paint affiliate link. So you never really know where sharing this information will take you, and it also adds to your level of expertise. Your followers get to build that trust that you are knowledgeable in your field. Also, as a photographer, think of your ideal customer. If you want to book more family photo shoots, then you need to share a video or photos where you demonstrate how you take a family portrait. That advice goes for any business. Make demonstration videos. I make art, so I post videos where I demonstrate painting, drawing, and designing. Whatever services your business offers, start posting a demonstration video. The video you're watching right now is considered a demonstration video. I'm showing my skills and my services. So I need you to apply that to your business. What kind of demonstrations could you do, and what kind of content can you give new followers to binge watch? When someone clicks your social media profile, they should instantly get your vibe. So always post your best work, your best advice, and your best energy. That's how you turn a random viewer into a follower and eventually a customer. Here we are at section number 5, why I avoid AI art. I'm going to keep this section incredibly short just because there's plenty of videos out there that do deep dives on this. But as an artist, I don't use AI. I've always been transparent that Emmy Teddy Designs offers hand drawn and handcrafted items, and that's a fact that I am extremely proud of. In addition to that, some customers hate AI and boycott AI for environmental reasons, and some art markets even ban the selling of it. AI images also don't tell your story. I get loyal customers through storytelling and explaining what inspired each piece. As a matter of fact, I can remember specific conversations where a customer would ask me, "What is this from?" And I could give them the backstory. Specifically to this one, like Kingdom Hearts inspired drink sticker. It's like a Poo punch inspired by Poo and Kingdom Hearts and Arizona tea cans that I had mashed together. And a customer bought it without really knowing the backstory, but because it was an in person sale, we got to share that conversation and they ended up buying a few more stickers after that. So sometimes having these conversations can also lead to more sales. So, with that said, it helps to make conversation when I'm selling at a market. There's also something human about making art and seeing improvement over time. You can't get that level of satisfaction or pride from AI images. I've grown my following from demonstrating my skills, doing Q&As, and offering tutorials. At the end of the day, AI images don't give people something to connect with. If you're not an artist, but you're a business owner, I still advise you to avoid AI images. Your followers would much rather see a video of you running your business than a static AI image or a wonky AI video. Okay, let's move into section 6, build community even as a beginner. If you are new to art, start sharing that journey. Pick one medium and document your progress. For example, I'm an experienced artist, but I'm a beginner with acrylic paint. So if you look at my recent videos, you'll see that I'm using the beginner phase to my advantage to make more content. I'm posting videos where I paint and talk about how I work through my roadblocks with perfectionism. I even attended a free painting workshop hosted by Alai, which I will tag in the description. They are an oil painter, but their technique still applied to my acrylic painting. Her workshop showed her workspace, sketch phase, how to mix colors, and decide the color palette. And as a beginner acrylic painter, I'm able to post pictures of myself attending art workshops and I'm able to tag the art teacher. So that's what I mean by building community even as a beginner. You can still post binge worthy content while learning a new skill. So if you're a beginner in your field, use that to your advantage. People love growth stories and they want to root for you. Which leads me into section 7, the power of content series. Content series are a powerful strategy for community building, and you can make a series even as a beginner artist. For example, have you guys ever been on TikTok and seen a video or a live stream of someone writing a list of names? The caption usually says something like, "What name should I write next?" These types of videos build engagement, consistency, and community. Because think about it. When I see these videos, I go straight to their profile to see what names they've already posted. If I don't see my name, I feel more inclined to make a request. Personally, I do not like taking requests, but it's something I tried in the past, and I still want to mention the series model as it definitely works for others. Some other series that I've seen are more monthly art prompt posts. It's where an artist shares a list of drawing prompts, either one prompt per day or per week, and it usually has its own hashtag to track participant submissions. I've also seen a color palette series where an artist will change the color palette that they use every month or every quarter of the year. Again, that's another art challenge that usually has a corresponding hashtag so they could see how their followers are using the color palette to make their own art. There is an Instagram account that was recently recommended to me called Depressed Drawings, and they have been posting one quick drawing per day over on Instagram. As I mentioned, I don't have an art series, but I know from observation how impactful a series model can be for follower growth and engagement. So I had to figure out a series theme that would work for me, which brings us into our next section. Section 8, my favorite series, Happy Maker. As of January 2025, I have been posting Happy Maker every Sunday on both Instagram and Facebook, which is a photo dump of things that made me happy that week. My series Happy Maker has four major benefits. First, it rewards my audience for following me. It adds variety to my content, so it isn't limited to tutorials or products. Second, it shows a peek into my life. I want my followers to see who they're supporting. That's why I share pictures of my desk setup, my two dogs, and travel destinations. I want my followers to see the impact that they make because I wouldn't have some of these things without their support. Third, it gives me a creative break. Trying to pump out art every day is the quickest way to burn out. And as much as I try to split up art into three posts, the sketch, work in progress, and final, I still need other content to sprinkle in. And prior to Happy Maker, I was already taking these pictures of my pets and traveling and eating good food. So, Happy Maker is a convenient way for me to repurpose those photos. If it wasn't convenient, I would still be struggling to make a series for my social media. And fourth, this might be the biggest benefit of Happy Maker, and it's that each post reaches new audiences like pet lovers, foodies, and museum goers. That is because Happy Maker boosts reach through variety. One week I might share my dogs and plants. Next week it's a trip to Knott's Berry Farm. Every Happy Maker post has different hashtags and visual interest, which means new people discover me each week. If you want more customers, it's important to find a balance in your content so that some of it reaches your usual audience and some of it goes beyond to get that new reach. This new discoverability brings us into section 9, content room strategy. As your content reaches new and current followers, they're going to want to get to know you and your business services. I work from home, so my content room is my home office. At first glance, new followers can see my desk and learn that I like Sanrio, the colors pink and blue, and that I've invested money into my equipment. If you're a photographer, your content room might be a home studio. I've seen nail techs work from their living rooms and mechanics work from their garage. Whatever your business is, pick a room that shows viewers what you do. Our video backgrounds can help improve our first impressions and really show off our skills and expertise in the field. I've noticed that my favorite artists tend to share 1 to 3 rooms in their house. I would call these public spaces or content rooms. Of course, they're not really open to the public, but they are shown publicly in videos. For example, in my home, I mostly record my office space, but sometimes I record at my dining table and in the backyard. Being familiar with the content room in your house will help get you faster at making videos because you'll already know how to get the best lighting and angle for that specific spot. At first, I didn't know where to record in my house, but over time, I noticed that I would gravitate towards my dining table, a wall in the backyard, and of course, my office. So if you haven't already, I strongly recommend going through your house and identifying potential spots for you to record videos or at least a specific wall. Now, I want to emphasize that I don't share my entire room. I only share the wall that has my desk space. And because I've identified my office wall as a reoccurring spot for recording, I just have a ring light tripod set up there at all times. By having a tripod there, I've made it convenient to record whenever, and this has significantly increased the amount of videos I record. And the reason why I only show one wall at a time is for safety reasons. It's impossible for me to know every single person who watches my videos and their intentions, so I don't want to give out the layout of my house. Even if it's not a house tour video, people can still comb through your past videos and potentially piece together the layout of your house. And I know that can seem unlikely and even scary, but I still want to address your safety on the internet. Be mindful of where you're recording and make sure to remove any sensitive information out of the way. Never show your home address, like the numbers on the curb or near the front door. I stick to my art desk for the most part. And you don't have to share your entire home in order to make videos. Just pick a few consistent content areas. And now that you have a consistent content room, let's talk about our final section, Section 10, Set Weekly and Monthly Goals. I post to YouTube once a month and Instagram 3 times a week. You don't need to do exactly what I do. To start, just pick a platform, set a schedule, and stay consistent. By posting consistently on social media, you're building trust with your audience. No one wants to buy from a no-face rando, so post on your social media, share your values, reply to people's comments. Don't be a stranger. The more that you show up for your business online, the more likely people will be willing to buy from you. What is better than a customer? A loyal customer. So that's how I find customers, not just one-time buyers, but loyal fans who return. This video had 10 sections to it, which I know can feel overwhelming, but you are capable. I recommend saving this video and then picking one section to focus on and try applying it to your business. Then, when you feel like you got the hang of it, come back to this video and pick another section to focus on. If you want more business strategies, check out my video titled Boost Your Art Sales with a Perfect Elevator Pitch. You can also read more on my blog at emmyteddydesigns.com and follow me on Instagram at emmyteddydesigns for more content ideas. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember that I'm always rooting for you and your business growth, and good luck building your community. Until next time, friends, bye bye.